We are live. All right. Well, happy to welcome Chastity Werner to our second HFMA Florida Live. Thank you to everybody that's jumping on, and we are going to get started here. Excited to talk about our upcoming summer conference, or spring conference, really, which is going to be the main topic of our conversation today. But before we get there, Chastity, why don't you introduce yourself, talk about your role, maybe what your past is for HFMA real quick.
Absolutely. So I am currently the statewide education chair. It's been a great year. I've been involved with HFMA for probably 20 some odd years, but Florida chapter specifically about the past 3. And this chapter ceases to amaze me and everything that we're able to accomplish and do. My next role next year will be as secretary and on the board. So I'm really excited about that as well.
Awesome. And before we jump into talking about the conference, I just want to remind everyone that jumps on live. First of all, thank you for jumping on live. And then of course, we'll post this to our YouTube channel after the fact. But certainly while we're on live, if you guys have any questions, please use the chat box to put any questions there. We'll answer those as we go along. But Chastity, let's kind of just maybe talk about a quick high-level overview of the conference, what it's going to look like. I know we have some exciting speakers. I'll bring up the agenda in a minute, but why don't you give us kind of a brief overview?
Right. So it's been a crazy past year and a half, right, with COVID and everything going on. We had to postpone several of our meetings that were live. And I know that, like myself, so many were disappointed because we always have such a great turnout at the meetings, and it's a great educational opportunity as well as networking opportunity. So our chapter is really excited about being able to have our first live conference. As you can imagine, this was a challenging year and there were so many unknowns. So trying to plan it and put it together and get speakers and even thinking down to the level of topics, because we've had so many changes over the past year and a few months, right? Mm-hmm. So we have an outstanding committee that really has worked very hard. We have some exceptional speakers that are bringing great topics that'll be of great educational value. It's pretty exciting. We actually have 3 different keynote speakers. So every morning we're going to have a different keynote that's going to come in. The first day is going to be Mike Allen as the national chair for HFMA. So we're excited to have him join us on his kind of wrap up of his national chair position. I know he's super pumped up about coming and seeing all of us as well. On the second day, we've got Lee Snyder, which just has an amazing story inspirationally. She was even on Yellowstone. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that series, but it rides in rodeos, and she was in just a horrific accident, and still, even with some of her challenges, she's still doing it. So I think that's going to be an exceptional keynote speaker. And then on the third day, we just received confirmation a few weeks ago that the lieutenant governor is actually going to come in and speak to us. So we're super excited for her to take the time and come in and give us updates and so forth.
I think that's awesome. I mean, having the lieutenant governor, all the speakers sound great. I've heard great things about Yellowstone. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list to watch at some point. But I did get sent the lieutenant governor's information, and pretty excited for her to be there. You know, from Miami, first Latina lieutenant governor elected. You know, in 2018, and yeah, we're excited to have her. That's going to be a very special. They're all going to be special speakers, but that in particular, I think, is going to be great. And I'm, for one, is really excited to get back out into the wild and see people, in person. I'm as much fun as these videos are. I think it'll be nice to be able to be there in person.
It will be a great opportunity just to get the networking and have live interaction again, right? So yeah, on Yellowstone, it's going to be starting its new season in June, Phil. So you need to get with it and watch. Got some catching up to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to screen share real quick, just the agenda, so we can take a quick look at that and run through it. I know you mentioned the 3 keynote speakers, which is, certainly the exciting part, but let's just go through this real fast. So can you see that?
Yes. Yep. We can see it.
All right. So we have our agenda here. It starts May 23rd, which is going to be that Sunday. Starts with the board meeting, and then the president's welcome reception in the evening, and then dinner on your own. May 24th, going to be Monday. Breakfast and networking in the morning. The first keynote, which you mentioned, Mike Allen, there at 9 a.m. We have some great discussions that are going to go out throughout the day. I don't know if there's anything in particular that you wanted to highlight, but I think everyone signed up for those as they were doing their registration. And then
absolutely. We do have a few differences this meeting, I think, than what some of the past meetings that we've recently had, or when we had them. One is we do not normally have that open welcome reception on that first night. Usually we've been having like a new member reception, but due to it's just being so long since we've all gotten together, the chapter has committed to opening up that welcome reception to everyone. And with social distancing and everything that's going on, we actually have a private area that's roped off just for our members, so we don't have to worry about being too close and everything else. It's outside. There'll be refreshments and food, and it'll just be a great event. So that's really exciting.
Absolutely.
On that first day, the delays of impact and care, Cheryl Spaniard is the moderator on that. And I know Mike Allen and Kelly Nichols and several others are speaking on it. I really think that that's going to be a really powerful presentation. They're all very good speakers, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's great.
One of the other things we added too is we have additional ANA sessions. So it kind of confused some people whenever they were going in to register, but because we would have a general session and then there would be like a ANA session, what we did was we just got the overflow room, and so we could actually allow those additional CPE credits for the ones that need them. So those are some great things and kind of differences as well.
That's awesome. I think from a membership standpoint, I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. I think the first day, Monday, there's a volunteer engagement lunch. And then on Tuesday, I believe there's a
breakfast, I believe, on Tuesday.
Yeah, member engagement breakfast. I think one of the big keys to HFMA is, we're all volunteers that are running the organization. And I'll talk about that a little more. And I think we're going to focus on that on our next Fireside chat. But, it's really a special organization, from the volunteer standpoint. I think some of us have made some great friends to the organization, but really we're bringing so much to the table in terms of education and everything else. We all have full-time jobs aside from our volunteer duties here at HFMA. But it's a really great way to get involved, great way to kind of stay active. So I encourage everybody that's attending, if you're not, currently volunteering, maybe check out some of those events that we have going on. See how you can get more involved. And then wraps up, I think, on Wednesday, is it the 26th? So
yes.
Keynote, and then a couple more general sessions throughout the day here. I think it's gonna be a very fun conference too. Is there anything else on the schedule that you wanted to highlight here before I go back to just us on video?
Well, actually, there is a few things. One is during our networking events, we're going to have several different charity opportunities. I think it's always wonderful how our chapter always wants to give back. So that's really exciting. I know that throughout the meeting, there's different type of charity things that we're going to be doing, as well as on that last day after the conference is over. It looks like we have one spot still available for the Metropolitan Ministries, and that's where we're going to actually go and serve food and give back. So I think that that's always wonderful to do as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's another exciting part of this conference. I think the conference has so much just beyond the fact that we're all getting together. I think there's going to be some fun aspects. There's obviously going to be some great educational items. And then from a charity standpoint, giving back to the community between the between, like you said, during the breaks and then the final volunteer opportunity on the last day. I think that's very, very cool.
No, absolutely.
Let's see how we're going on in terms of, see if we have any questions. No questions yet in the chat box. Again, I know we have some live folks now, but this will be going back on our YouTube channel. So, I know that will be there for people to watch and get excited about the conference. Anything else you want to highlight, Chastity?
No, we just look forward to seeing everybody there. And as always, if anybody has any questions about the meeting and they want to reach out. Oh, I think that if it's still for the next few days, we do still have a few provider scholarship opportunities. We've really had great business partner donations, and that will allow us to really expand on that. So to help providers attend the meeting, which is exciting. And other than that, we just look forward to seeing everybody there.
Well, that's awesome. I appreciate you so much jumping on. We're excited to have had our second now Fireside chat. We're going to be looking to have our third Fireside chat in June. We'll get the save the date out for that, in the next couple of weeks. But we'll have, kind of some exciting topics to discuss then in terms of next year's plans for HFMA Florida. What the year's going to look like, what our upcoming conference is, and there should be some great topics there. So tune in for the next Fireside chat. As always, subscribe to our LinkedIn, our YouTube, our Instagram, Facebook, you name it. We're on all the social media sites. So please take your time to subscribe or like our pages when you can. And we look forward to seeing everybody at the spring conference. And Chassie, anything you want to end off with?
No, just look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you so much, Phil.